Do we have the timer?
It will pop up as soon as the sky eventually, like it takes, there you go. 2 seconds or 3 seconds into timing now, 4 seconds. That's what we went to end the videos, or those two video buttons there, the end stream, the YouTube stream and the Facebook stream.
Okay, can't see them.
Okay, where's our front? Where's our front? Okay, we're not on TV. Hang on. Okay, start talking. Tell a joke. I'll go get Tyler.
Sandy, I gave you all my best jokes. But yeah, I have no monitor, so let's see if I can get that. There we go. I have one now. Hello, everyone. There we go. Well, I did find my monitor, so I can now see the people who can see me, but I can't see any chat.
Okay.
Ooh.
Hi, Ann. Sandy.
Got Robin.
Okay, hi, Robin.
See if we can see that.
Oh, there we are. There's us. Well, how did, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just busy breaking it, Tyler.
Yeah, we're just kind of sliding it around, and
there was no monitor, but I found that one, and I can see
Robin's online there, but we're just looking to see.
She said hello, so I'm hoping she heard us.
She can hear us and everything. Yeah, Robin's really good.
And do we have Facebook commentary somewhere?
Yeah, it was over there before.
Oh, it's that one. All right, I can switch that over there.
Oh, there, look at all of you. Hi, Ann. Hi, Sandy. Oh, there's Ruth and Ann. All right, and Tyler's here too. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Lean in. Say hi, Tyler.
Hello.
Group effort. I like my other studio.
Okay,
They're
don't
very
diss
nice,
Sandy's
both of them.
studio. Don't diss the Sandy studio.
I know. Well, but
All right.
but you know this one, and I know the other
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
All right.
little secret for everyone. I'm cutting together the blooper reel this year.
Oh, bloopers here.
Just
we come.
remember who signed your paycheck, Tyler.
Be gentle.
It's not Sandy, so go to town with hers.
Yeah. All right, guys, have fun.
I think Sandy has a one or two up her sleeve that she'd be willing to share with you all. Well, geez, Tuesday, nearly the end of March. So the one big announcement that I have for y'all is to remember we have an excellent promo this weekend. We've got Easter eggs in an Easter basket, and when you come in, you get to pick an Easter egg, and you will enjoy the discounts inside. And the discounts range from 15% to 40% off of your purchase. So definitely worth dropping in. We're closed Good Friday, and the excellent egg draw starts Thursday. Then we'll be closed Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday you still have the opportunity to come pick an egg. So, you know, find yourself a nice little discount and enjoy that. So, well, so many Anns these days. So I grew up not knowing any Anns, and now there's Anns all over the place. Ann Scott, Ann Lure, so many of you. I'm so happy that you joined me. All right, so today Sandy wanted to do stabilizers all week, and I said we could do that. That would be great. But let's have not a machine embroidery focus, because machine embroiderers, they know that they need stabilizer, they need to understand them, but there are so many other places that you can utilize great stabilizer in your regular everyday sewing. So that's what I'm going to focus on in my two presentations today and Thursday. Sandy's Monday and Wednesday this week. So tomorrow, of course, is Wacky Wednesday. We'll see what happens then. I haven't asked. So let's just take a look at a few that I am going to share with you. There are, ruining the beautiful display. There are some beautiful stabilizers that they're referred to as stabilizer, but maybe we don't tend to use them in the same way. There is Badgemaster, Heat to Go, and Stitch 2.0. Stitch 2.0 was formerly known as topping. There is also a product called Top Cover, and you can see this is not a, there's a lovely brand new one behind me, but let's just take that out of the plastic package so it's not glaring up at you. Top Cover is an entirely different product, but still falls under the stabilizer categories. And this is a package of color. The package that I have and is open is neutrals. So here's a white one, there's a black one, and a cream. Now, Top Cover is something that you put between an embroidery and the base fabric. So if I wanted to intensify an embroidery, if I wanted to put you know, a black something on top of here, its background color of white will somehow diminish the strength of the color. So if I was going to put something that was a bit darker, as I'm embroidering, I would put Top Cover down, and then I would embroider over this and then tear away all the extra. You could kind of see where I've torn away under lettering. So if I wanted a dark embroidery on top of this, I could have put the top cover under there, or given this embroidery was a little more blue, maybe I would have used that blue one in there, things like that. So I think you get the hint. Top cover goes down between the item you're embroidering on and what you're embroidering. So it's just a permanent layer that stays under the embroidery and intensifies the color of the embroidery. So you can see if I had a black piece of fabric and I put this white down and then maybe did a embroidery of a white snowman on top, this will help keep the white snowman white on something dark red, typically like a red sweatshirt at Christmas time with a white snowman on it. Those are the kinds of places. Pardon me. So that's one top thing, and there are these others. Quite often, Badgemaster is my go-to choice for lace. So I'll put an aqua mesh in the hoop, so a water-soluble mesh product. It has strength, but it's soft. Badgemaster doesn't really have strength, but it's firm. So between the two of them, I get a very strong, firm surface to embroider lace on. And I'll grab those here. So this piece here kind of shines under the camera. So it'll have that aqua mesh underneath, and that was hooped. And then Badgemaster, which is a clear stabilizer, that's on the top. The lace then is rinsed, and depending on how much you leave in or out of the embroidery, determines whether this is soft or stiff. So the more you leave in, the firmer the project will be, so you have the added bonus of starching it into a shape. We use that with lots of other things. These are rinsed a little softer. These are lace bracelets. So these are meant to go on our arm, or they would be lovely stitched out on the end of a sleeve or a cuff. Make sure I can get my hand in there with it tied up, but I can certainly open it. And so these were meant as a little bit of an adornment, and they're quite lovely, but you can also leave them freestanding. This could actually be hung in a Christmas tree or any other decorative element you might want. Could actually tack it onto a garment or stitch it straight to a garment, but it wouldn't be freestanding lace if you stitched it directly. But you can always, if you just tack that down, you can have that forever. You can move it around. But there are some beautiful lace pieces, both practical and decorative. So in the other pieces that I have down here, Heat to Go. This one's the freakiest one that I've ever used, because it looks like plastic bag, and you take an iron to it and it balls up and goes away. And so putting your iron to it is a bit intimidating, because you feel like you're going to melt something plastic to your iron, but that's not quite how it works. So this is one that you would use if you happen to be, say, embroidering on velvet that can't get wet. You wouldn't want to use Badge Master. You would use Heat to Go. Anything that is lumpy, loopy, furry, fuzzy, corduroy velvet, polar fleece, those sorts of things need a topping. So that washcloth that I had earlier with the cute little mama bear and her baby polar bears, this had topping on it when it went through the embroidery process, and then it was rinsed out. 100% disappears. Then just set those to the side for a second. This Christmas tea towel, it's got, you know, a lovely saying on it. Sandy, of course, loved it because, you know, it has some favorite sayings, and of course, fruit to my cake, joy to my world, ginger to my bread. So you are the, and you know, Sandy is the humor to Wacky Wednesday. This one, Christmas rules, spread Christmas cheer, believe in Santa. I'm sure Sandy believes in Santa, the Tooth Fairy, and Easter Bunny, and so she's a bucket of fun to be with. Well, these all started with topping on there, because when you're doing letters and fine things on tea towel, this tea towel has a fairly wide thread in the weave to help make it be absorbent. And that means sometimes the little fine details in the stitches will fall between the weft and the weave. So we want to keep the stitches on the surface in these instances, and that's when you would use Stitch 2O. Now Stitch 2O is also a clear film. Just grab the other piece and did it on the wrong side of the camera. So this is an open roll, and the open roll, you know, it looks like a roll of plastic. Of course, any of these clear stabilizers need to be stored in something like a Ziploc bag. Otherwise they dry out and get really crunchy, and then they're brittle. So it's kind of the difference if you think of bread not in a plastic bag gets hard and brittle, and it's great for bread crumbs, but it's not great for a sandwich. So you want this to stay soft and fresh. So you keep it in a bag until you need it, cut it off, put it back in the bag. if you don't remove it from the item, it will slowly dry out and get quite crunchy and will break away. But normally it tears out quite easily to start, and then any fine bits that didn't come out you can wash away 100%. This towel here has a chocolate covered strawberry directions, and you might catch in the camera a bit of a shine. There's still some stabilizer in between the letters here, because these got a lot finer than this towel, and that's where embroiderers tend to use these stabilizers. So I have one other kind of interesting tip for any of you who own a serger and you've ever had something like this scarf and you ran it through your serger and you did that nice rolled hem. Sometimes I know that you've had a fabric that just wouldn't roll and that had little hairy scary bits hanging out on there, and it just never looked nice. And it was because maybe it was a bit soft, a bit frail, maybe frayed quickly. A little bit of a topping, and what I do is I'll just cut off a large chunk and then cut it into 1/2-inch strips. You can roll that strip. Just take a little bit off of here and show you. So let's see. The cut's a little bit crooked already, but let's just do that. So I have a wee little strip, and then I would run the edge of my fabric under the serger while adding strips of the topping to give the more bulk and body to the rolled hem, and they come out beautifully. And then you just rinse the excess away, and sometimes you can tear it away and you can't even see that it's there, so you don't actually necessarily have to wash it to wear it. You'll get away with it for a little while, but the first time you wash it, anything caught up in the roll will wash away 100%. So it's a little trick for those of you trying to do something on a fragile fabric that's just not cooperating. Sometimes you can bulk the fabric up with starch and have it perform a little bit better, but we also have stabilizers. So just something you might not be aware of, but I do run a lot of stabilizer through my serger for just that instant. All right, so what else are we gonna do today? Well, I have, oh, Sandy put it in the display. I have this beautiful pillow. And some of you, if you've been around with us for a while, you've seen this. So I'll flip it over for a little more detail. So you see this beautiful lacy scallop edge? That I've just done with my sewing machine and a stabilizer. So I'm going to do a little quick demo with that and give you some tips on how to get a beautiful edging like that. Because I don't know if you're aware, but it's very difficult at this point in time to find beautiful lace. I don't see much of it being offered that we could carry. I'm sure that maybe somewhere, but it just hasn't been that obvious for us. And so I created my own lace edging here. So I'm going to walk you through that. And then I'm going to walk you through another stabilizer tip for something that anyone with fairly modern sewing machine could do. So let's head down here to the close-up. What I've got here right now is a piece of Badge Master. So this is a little heavier than the topping. And I just have a little chunk here. I'm going to just slice off maybe a 2-inch strip because I don't want to not have enough for the piece I'm about to do. I have a beautiful blue thread in my machine. I have a nice fabric that's going to coordinate beautifully. I have the same thread in the bobbin, and I have this piece of stabilizer, Badgemaster specifically, and I'm going to just put it on top here. I'm going to drop the foot just to hold everything for me, and then I'm going to go into my machine, and I'm going to find myself a decorative stitch that's a satiny scallop. And I mean, every machine's going to be slightly different about what you can have for length and width here. The stitch I've picked is out of the Luminaire, and it's in the decorative menu, not the utility menu, and there is a difference. And I've taken it out, and I've made it just a little narrower. It's well, actually I'm going to leave it, pardon me, at the width, at 7 millimeter wide, but I changed the length to compress that stitch a little bit. And then the hardest part here will be finding where the point of the stitch is, but typically it'll be, I think it's going to start there on the left side, and I'm going to begin with a knot. So I'm just stitching in place there, and then I'm going to just create that stitch, have the little peak. It's got to hit the edge of the fabric. And it always looks better if the top and bottom thread are the same. If for any reason you're finding that the stitch is collapsing, you could do a second layer of Badgemaster. So I'm just going to stop here. And you can see that stitch is starting to form, and the little points are catching the edge of the stabilizer. So the next row would be a little more difficult, and if you have the ability to pattern begin, pattern end, now is where you would use that. And you're going to start that peak in the middle of the scallop from the first row. And then the peak of the next one you want to hit. And you might want to do a wee practice to get going, but you're going to offset them like laid bricks. Okay, I'm going to call that the end. And you can see how I'm building a second layer. And I believe, let's have a close-up here on the pillow. It looks like I had 3 layers on the pillow from previously. So it's not quite a ½ inch or about a ½ inch. Now that's one way. A second way, you can beef up. Oh, there I have my machine here. I have a much heavier thread in similar color. And what you can do is fill that So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that satin stitch. It's a bit tricky to get started, but you want to fill the satin stitch. And it's nicer if you use a coordinating color in case you're missing or not quite catching it. Sometimes I just use a white buttonhole twist. Some of you might have crochet thread at home. But filling the satin stitch with something like a heavier cord. Of course, I'm really good at this when none of you are watching me. Aren't we all? So let's do one more ring up. It just gives the scallop a little bit of body. I'm just going to knot that there. So, and these have a little more oomph to them. Okay, so same here. Just gonna cut that thread off. And then I would start my second layer under there. And again, try to fill it with that satin stitch. Start in the middle of the scallop. Leave a little tail out the back so you have something to hold with. And you'll soon find a rhythm that works for you. How many stitches to hold this thread in one direction. Okay. I think you're getting the idea. I don't want to belabor that. And you can add as many layers as you like. But this cord, it's an 8 weight. So it's quite a heavy. It's one of the Wonderfil Razzle collections, and we have that in colors that match so many other things. So you could get, if you're making red scallops, there's a red one or a white one or a cream one or a black one or a green one. So you get the idea. Now, let's just say, top down for a second. So on this tea towel, you can see there's a lovely border here. Oh, and those of you who have made towels before and were waiting for a restock, I just got a mere 400 meters in, so come on down, get your tea toweling if you're a tea towel girl or gentleman. It's in stock and it's such nice stuff. For those of you who are newer to us and kind of missed the towel craze, it's something that we do here, obviously, from my samples, but this one has an anchor to it, a base to it. I like my designs to be only 1.5 inches from the bottom. And if I happen to do a misplacement, or you happen to do a misplacement and you don't like where it landed, and maybe it's, you know, let me refold this one just for a mock-up. So what if I placed it up here and I didn't like all that space, right? I didn't like all this white space down here. Well, this is where the stabilizer is going to come in. Either some topping or some Batch Master, again in some strips. I'm just going to cut a strip off this one. I only need about 1 inch. And let's just change my thread out to something a little bit different. Hey, Sandy.
Hi, Ann. How's it going, man?
Good. Do you want to grab me some red thread?
Red thread?
Yes, please. Pretty please. Just gonna swap out red, black, or green, whatever you find first.
Oh, okay.
It's for our tea towel. I thought I grabbed the thread, but I think I got interrupted and forgot it.
It came unwound. It was kind of unwound. Do you need
Need a white bobbin if
A
we
white
have one
bobbin?
down here.
a
Oh, we had all of those
where were those
pre-wounds.
bobbins at?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just gonna put some red embroidery thread. Thank you. Your timing is impeccable, my
Impeccable. I
darling.
just thought I'd check
Yeah.
on you and make sure everything was
Thanks for
going
checking
okay.
on me.
Yeah.
I've been filming upstairs, as some of you might know, hours and hours of classes so that you all have stitch-alongs for the digital dealer exclusives. Now that's done. 12 months plus the bonus design. So that's all out there. People can just log into our YouTube and watch them, all 12 of them. Each design launches the first of each month. So they're not, all 12 designs aren't available, but all 12 programs are available to watch. So if you didn't sign up for the year and you want to see what the whole year looks like, it's coming up. And if you don't see what you want, call Tyler.
Yeah, that's right.
I was in charge of filming them. Tyler's in charge of getting them on the website. You know, we can't all be everything. All right, so I'm picking here what most of us consider like a star stitch. So I'm just going to start with a knot. I'm going to start in from that edge there, and so I'm going to start in roughly about 1 inch. Did a little knot. If you own a Bernina, I believe this stitch is stitch number 711. It's one of my favorites. On the Luminaire, it's under menu number 3, and it's called, the one I picked was 3-06, hem stitching. So I'm just going to add a little fun to the bottom of this tea towel, and I'm just going to use that stitch just to fill in some space. And what I'm using for a measurement is the edge of the foot up against the edge of the hem. It's reasonably straight. And then I'm just going to work my way along with that wash away stabilizer on top. Hope you enjoyed Sandy's program yesterday. She's She has so much fun doing this. And I'm happy to share some of the things stuck up in my head of the knowledge that I have. So I'm coming up to the middle of the towel here. But the stabilizer allows the stitches to form nicely and to be on top of those fibers of this tea towel without sinking down in and looking distorted. They won't be distorted, they'll be lovely stitches, but they'll look distorted because they'll fall into the valleys and then be prominent on the hills, and it just doesn't look nice. But topping will make these decorative stitches look better on things like this. So although I wish every one of you did have an embroidery machine and then you were enjoying it as much as I was, maybe you don't, maybe you aren't, maybe you haven't, maybe you want one and you're waiting for Mother's Day or your birthday. Now I'm coming to the end of that first strip of Badgemaster. Topping the stitch 2-0 might have been enough, but I might then have needed to add something under the bottom. But given the strength that it takes to remove tearaway, I didn't want to distort these little delicate stitches. But when you wash away, they don't suffer at all. And it just takes, I make my tea towels. I cut it off the bolt, I create the tea towel, then I will do whatever it is that I want for a hem, then I wash them. So they come with a lot of starch in them, which is really handy when you're hemming them, but when you want to work on them, you want to pre-shrink them. So I hem them, then I pre-shrink them, removing all the starch and stuff. Then I do whatever it is I'm going to do to them, but I know that 99% of the time I'm using wash away topping, and I like to remove all of that. So on mass, I just send them back to the wash machine, and they look great. And the Isacord that we use, it has the ability to be bleached. Even this tea towel that I'm working on, if it needed, if I'm actually using them, and I highly recommend that you make them to be used, then when you're ready to wash them, you can bleach them if necessary. Okay, so I think if you have the ability to tell your machine that you want 1 or 2 more full repeats, now would be the time. And I know I just use the needle up down there to move myself forward. Then I'm going to make another knot. And it's about to make a side stitch, so I'm just going to cut it. I might have to trim that tail. Alrighty, so let's take a close-up look. So it was cute before, but I think it's even cuter now. Sandy likes extra embellishment, so I'm sure that I have the Sandy stamp of approval here. So here we go. Decorative stitches on tea towel with topping, specifically Badgemaster. What do you think? If you're enjoying the videos, do chime in. We do appreciate that. And if you have questions, by all means, fire away. We're happy to answer those questions. I hope you enjoyed topping today. I hope to see you for the excellent Easter promotion. Come pick up a few things and get a little promotion. We've got a couple other little surprises in store for you, and I would love to see you. Can walk me through any thoughts or questions you have about stabilizers in a non-embroidery machine capacity. So stay tuned for the rest of the week. Tomorrow we've got Wash Away Wednesday. Like that. So there's a lot more washaways than just what I've shown you today. So Sandy's on that tomorrow. And then Thursday, I'm going to talk about, oh, hi, Lana. I'm going to talk about tearaways and where you can use that in sewing. And it's quite stabilizer, like starch in sewing. I would consider both of them like the duct tape of the world. They, in the sewing world, they solve a multitude of problems. So happy to share that with you. So do please continue to join us this week. If you're missing out on the notifications for Facebook, there's usually a little bell somewhere around the chat box there. Typically top right, go up there, hit the bell, you'll get notifications that say when we're going live. Sandy did her first ever studio live, and I know that the people who were in studio had a great time, and those are going to be registered for the moment, so we know how many people will be live and in the studio. And those of you that register to be with us that day, we have a little extra bonus for you. And Sandy and I are already working on the next one for next month. She's super excited because I'm sure that we figured out it involves a costume. And I can't wait. It's so much fun around here. And then, oh, hey, thanks. I'm glad you found it useful, Robin. Just some thoughts, you know, during the pandemic, I was on here a lot with thoughts, whether you all appreciated them or not. The doom and gloom of social media and the other media outlets. Oh my gosh, you can't afford to eat. You can't afford to drive your car. You can't afford to live in your house. Well, in my opinion, you can't afford to just live. Live well, live happily. Be with your family, be with your friends, enjoy your hobby, come down and see us. We haven't seen some of you in forever. We miss you. And, you know, being creative, that's good for your heart. It's good for your mind. It's good for your soul. I, 2 years ago, took a trip out to art retreat, and I learned to solder. And I always wanted to. And I found a million reasons not to. But the biggest one was it landed on my mom's birthday. And those of you who've been with us a long time, you know that 5 years ago this month she passed away. And this art retreat had this class, and it was on my mom's birthday. And I felt like I couldn't have had any bigger signs from her saying, get up off my butt and go do something that I want to do just for myself. So I did that, and it was amazing. And when she found out her cancer diagnosis, she said, all I want to do is turn 80. So we just had our 80th birthday, and I'm off to that same retreat to up my skills in the world of soldering. Not quilting, not sewing, which there are classes at this retreat, and for quilters and sewers and hand stitchers and art quilters and painters and all sorts of things, but I'm taking more metal classes. So who knew at my age I'd be into heavy metal, but there you are. So thanks for joining me. Want to come say goodbye, Sandy?
Yes, I do. Did you tell them about our extravaganza?
I did, but in case they arrive late, you want to tell them some more?
Okay, just that's going to happen on Thursday. Not Friday because we're closed for Good Friday, but Saturday and Sunday, the extravaganza event. Excellent extravaganza event. So please do stop in those days. We have many eggs to select from. It'll be a lot of fun. And if you do stop by on Sunday, I think there's a really good chance that you might meet up with an Easter bunny.
I bet you the bunny will be here on Sunday.
I think he is going to be here on Sunday. He'll be wagging his little tail and having a good time.
Oh, yeah. Teresa, yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's, oh, I'm sorry about your dad. Yeah, it's tough. But you know, we have to move on. And my mom would be really mad with me if she knew that I folded it up after she passed. So I certainly didn't, because
No.
Lordy, I wouldn't want her to be haunting me and poking me in my sleep. But
Anne, right? Come on, Anne.
she would hate to
Yep.
know that it changed.
No, she was so proud of
Anything.
you and everything that you
Don't
did.
make me
Oh,
cry.
sorry. She didn't really like her. No. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
I-
sorry to hear about your dad.
Yeah,
That's
one of our poor girls.
Yeah.
Same. She just lost her
burned.
father.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We
you know, for those of you who've lost people, life is honestly too short. So, do come in. Come see us. Have any of you heard us on the radio? Because
I have.
do you remember the final line, and then we can sign off?
It's something about
Let us help you
You.
get creative.